You might not know this, but do you know bond market? It's the biggest than the stock market in the US. Actually, worldwide, bond market is about 100 trillion versus stock market, which is about 70 trillion. So there's a huge difference, but most people don't really know that. So for you as an investor, should you buy bonds? I mean, up to now, a lot of people, there's an argument between should I buy bonds, should I not buy bonds? So in general, I mean, you'd have a little bit of bond in your portfolio just to kind of like to make it as a ballast. It kind of protect your volatility in your portfolio. So whether you want to have a bond or you don't have a bond is up to you. But I mean, I would say you'd have at least 20% or 30%, depends on your age, right? The general rule is it's usually about your age minus 20 or minus 30 or minus 40, depends on who you talk to. So that means you'd have 20% stock. I mean 20 uh 80% stocks, and then you'd have about 20% bonds if you're like 40 years old or something like that. I mean, as you get older, you'd have more bonds because it protects you from the volatility. So what kind of bonds should you buy? Today I'm talking about one bonds that it's one of the best bond in the US. And this bond actually is from Vanguard, and I think is one of the biggest. So we'll look into it, and we see if it's appropriate for you to buy this bond. The bond I'm talking about today will be BND, Vanguard Total Bond Market ETF. All right. There's also AMRO share if you want to buy mutual funds on that. Overview of the bond. The ticker symbol is BNDIV. Of course, is provided by Vanguard, right? And then asset class, intermediate term bond. Category is intermediate term bond. Inception, the date it was created, it was on March 4th, 2007. Performance, we know this year was really bad for bond and stock market. So this year is about 11% down. Year to date, it's 11. NAV, net asset value. So product summary. The fund investment objective is to seek and track performance of broad market-weighted bond index. The fund generally provide broad exposure to the taxable, investment-grade US dollar-denominated bond market, excluding inflation-protected and tax-exempt bonds. Those they are not included in this bond or bond ETF or bond fund. Because this is aggregate bond. I mean, it has a lot of different type of bonds, right? Offer relatively high potential for investment income, share value to tend to rise and fall modestly, as compared to the stock market. Maybe more appropriate for medium or long-term goal where you're looking for reliable income stream. Is appropriate for diversifying the risk of stock in your portfolio. As we say, you would have about 20% to 30% of this bond versus your stock market would have about 70%, 60%, relatively to your age. So fund manager is Vanguard. Prices of today, I mean, rating actually is 2. So the risk rating from 1 to 5 would be 2. So it's very low risk. Of course, an investment in the fund could lose money over short or even longer period of time. You should expect the fund share price and total return to fluctuate within a wide range, like the fluctuations of the overall stock market. So it will go up and down, but don't panic when it goes down. When it goes down, you sell, you buy more, and then but it will come up again. We look at the price, of course, today is 74. Net asset value is 74. Expense ratio, how much you're going to pay, is 0.03, so it's very low. The fees, we've already seen the fees over here as 0.03, but we look at the performance. Benchmark of this, it's a 306, and the BND itself, it's also 307. Now benchmark is about 313, so that's minus fee and taxes, you get a 306. That's how much inception. So you get about 3% annually. When it was up a little bit by 51 cents. Let's keep the price. Let's look at the portfolio composition. So what kind of bond they're in this one? Style is fixed income, first of all, and then is medium risk. So, or medium duration, you know, we have a bond of short term and we have long term bond and we have medium because this is aggregate. So it collect all of them, but in general it's about medium bonds. Number of bonds is 10,121 bonds. Yield to maturity is about 3 or 4. So, I mean, as they say, 3%, that's kind of how much you were expecting to get. Exposure, we would have US government. 67% of this bond is the US government. We have a AAA grade, about 380. AA 3, A 11, BBB 14. So majority of the bond, of course, is from US government, which is very safe. And this is a US aggregate bond or total bond market. And those AA, they're more of like a private company where they come from, and we can see they're right here. These are the company of the, you know, Amazon. AbbVie has more bonds to it, you know, Abbott Laboratory, American Express, Ally Financial, and more of the stocks. Distribution, of course, as we've said, it does distribute monthly. And the last dividend, of course, was today, September 7th, 2022, and is about 16 cents per share. So that's all about this bond fund. It's a BND. As we've seen the performance and the fees and everything. So if you want to add bond fund in your portfolio, I think this is the best bond fund to buy because it's aggregate, combine all of them, and it's very safe. So that's it for today. Till we meet again. Thanks for watching.